Welcome back. You're watching Newsnight on DD News and DD India. Time now for our In Focus segment, in which we are discussing about Rajasthan crisis. Uncertainty persists. Joining me are two eminent guests, Ashok Tandon and Shekhar Iyer. Ashok Tandon is a columnist and political commentator with decades of experience in the media. He also served as media advisor to the late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And Shekhar Iyer was the political editor for Deccan Herald newspaper and senior associate editor with the Hindustan Times in New Delhi. Gentlemen, welcome to Newsnight. If I can come to you first, Shekhar Iyer. Now, the CLP has met. It passed a resolution extending support to Ashok Gehlot, but Pilot and his loyalists stayed out of that meeting. Uncertainty persists. Where do things go from here?
Not changed since this morning, because whatever we heard in the morning have been negated by the evening. First, we were told that the Congress top leadership is engaging Sachin Pilot. Pilot is in touch with the Gandhi family members. We were told that the doors are open, talks are going on. But by afternoon, we came to hear that Sachin is not in touch with the Gandhi family members. Though the Congress says it has kept doors open, nobody from the Congress top leadership has ever spoken to Sachin Pilot.
Right.
And the other thing we heard was that we didn't get exactly how many members were present in that CLP meeting. But definitely Sachin Pilot and his loyal band of MLAs did not attend. And above all the MLAs who were assembled at the residence of Mr. Ashok Gehlot, they were all herded into a bus and taken to a luxury hotel, which goes to show that things are not normal in Rajasthan today. And we are also heard in the evening that two members of that Bharatiya Tribal Party are supposed to have withdrawn support to Gehlot.
Right.
So which all goes to show that it may appear that Gehlot enjoys a better numbers than Sachin Pilot, but definitely he is not in a comfortable position. And this whole crisis appears to be something that was triggered by the action of the Chief Minister by registering an FIR and sending a summon to his own Deputy Chief Minister, who is also the Pradesh Congress Committee President. It is a very unusual way a Chief Minister is dealing with internal problems, in the sense that you have an FIR, then summons are sent, and for optical result, you have a summons sent to yourself. And Sachin Pilot takes up the matter with the Congress High Command, but he is told that he should cooperate with the investigation. And the charge is that Sachin Pilot is somehow involved in collusion with the BJP, in a bid to topple the government of Ashok Gehlot. This is a very bizarre situation where a Chief Minister is ordering an inquiry against his own Deputy Chief Minister, which goes to show that somewhere along the Gehlot decided to get very aggressive and create a crisis that will push Sachin Pilot to the wall. But why is this happening? That's a big question. And why has the Congress top leadership, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, have allowed the situation? After all, Sachin Pilot, as you mentioned in your report earlier, was appointed the Congress president for Rajasthan, and he led the campaign against Vasundhara Raje government for 3 years, and finally we saw the results. And all through there was understanding that Congress is going for a young leadership and Sachin Pilot would be rewarded for what he has done. But when after the results came, the old guards persuaded Sonia Gandhi to pick Ashok Gehlot, and he was made the Chief Minister. So the trouble has been brewing for a long time, and I don't see where at any stage the issues raised by Sachin Gehlot, Sachin Pilot regarding the issues of governance in Rajasthan was addressed by the Congress High Command.
Absolutely. I want to take the same question across to Mr. Tandon. Mr. Tandon, you've seen the numbers, how they stack up in the assembly. Gehlot seems to have the numbers on his side. He paraded his MLAs this afternoon in fact. But you think the uncertainty still persists given the rift between the Gehlot camp and the Pilot camp, and the fact that Pilot and his loyalists chose to stay away from that CLP meeting?
No, what happens in the Congress politics of Rajasthan, we'll have to wait and watch. But the more serious question for the Indian politics is, what exactly is the Congress leadership doing? And in fact, where is the Congress leadership today? It's a more than 130 years old party which has governed this country for a major part since independence, and today's the leadership is just in the name and it's confined only to three members of a family. Is that the leadership? I think the real question for the Indian population, the people of India, is where this more than 130 years old party is heading to. Because if the party is in the hands of a family, how can the party progress? How can the new leadership emerge in this party? So the most pathetic, the insensitive nature of the three members of this party, who are just an spectator to what is happening in the Congress party in different states. I think that is the moot question, because we may argue that it was Rahul who was promoting Jyotiraditya Scindia in Madhya Pradesh or Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan. But what has he done to protect their interests when both these leaders, at least in these two states, were being, sidelined? They were feeling suffocated in their own party, and Rahul was a silent spectator, mood spectator. So therefore, I think it's time for the Congress party itself, people in the Congress party, to introspect within their own party whether this leadership of a family, will it take the part forward, or because apparently these three members in the family are interested only in retaining control of the party. They are least about what happens at the ground level or at the state level. Whether a chief minister who is an appointee, so-called high command, he becomes an arbiter, authoritarian, he can, give a notice to his own chief minister, on the charges of sedition. And here is three members of the family of the Congress party who are helpless. They don't want to do anything. So I think it's time for all congressmen all over the country. In fact, I would say even congressmen who have left the party like Sharad, Mamata Banerjee, to ponder over the deteriorating situation in the Congress party, and why not come out and openly say, well, the real Congress is somewhere else. It is not the Congress which is confined only to 10 Janpath. I think that is the real question which the country would like to know, because after all, in a democracy, we need an opposition. So now Congress, if it is in opposition, they should at least be performing the role of an opposition. The party is disintegrating at state level. So I think we need to discuss these wider questions which really concern Indian democracy. And people of India also are interested in knowing where the country will be heading if the opposition party like Congress is in such a shame.
Indeed. Mr. Iyer, Mr. Tandon seems to say and seems to suggest that the rot runs deep. The buck should stop with the Gandhi family, the so-called dynasty in the Congress party. We have gone past the age of entitlement politics. This is an era where people rise up from within the ranks of a party, more democratic in nature. So that it clearly points to a systemic crisis in the Congress party, isn't it?
Indeed, Mr. Ramchandran, because what we are seeing is, Rajasthan is, of course, we have seen what has happened today. But look at the central level, at the AICC level. Sonia Gandhi is almost completing a year as the interim president of the Congress. She took charge last year around August 10th, and now it's time that the Congress Working Committee has to meet again to decide about who should be the next president. Now, to my best of my understanding, Sonia still wants Rahul Gandhi to again resume charge as full-fledged Congress president. But Rahul Gandhi had quit, citing the poor performance of the party, and blamed his own party leaders for not taking forward his campaign against Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the drubbing which was caused. But the point I want to emphasize here is, how can a Congress party, be on a state of drift for such a long time, and with no central leadership in action? You have seen what happened in Madhya Pradesh, because Jyotiraditya Scindia was also feeling neglected. He was being sidelined. His supporters were sidelined, and finally we saw the collapse of the Kamal Nath government. And the same thing is being replayed here in Rajasthan, where Sachin Pilot was promised the chief ministership, there was an assurance that there would be an opportunity for young leaders, and that assurance came from none other than the Rahul Gandhi. But subsequent to the elections, what we saw was after the results, after the hard work or the hard, solid legwork, I would say, put in by Sachin Pilot, and finally, when it came to forming the government, we saw that the old guard, like Ashok Gehlot, being given a third opportunity to be the chief minister. Now, several questions have arisen because was Gehlot given the responsibility because the Gandhi family felt that he was the best to undo some of the cases registered against Robert Vadra, the son-in-law of Sonia Gandhi? Is it because Ashok Gehlot enjoyed the trust of the Gandhi family on some other sensitive matters? Or does it involve the question of managing financial resources for the Congress party from Rajasthan? Because these are the several questions being asked. Of course, Ashok Gehlot is a leader in his own rights. He has given a lot to the party. He was AICC General Secretary in charge of organization. But the question is, when you are promising change, you're promising youth leaders a chance, you just fall back again old guards and everything is in a state of limbo. And that is what has happened today. Now, instead of addressing this issue, what do we see today Rahul Gandhi doing? He's repeatedly tweeting against the Prime Minister, saying that he's asleep, he's doing that, he's doing this, and not a word on what has happened in Rajasthan. Surely Rahul Gandhi could have picked up a phone and talked to the Sachin Pilot. Surely Sonia Gandhi could have spoken to him. But we do not see that thing happening because what is clear is somehow they seem to let Ashok Gehlot take a unilateral decision to push Sachin Pilot to a corner and create a situation where Sachin Pilot is left with no option but to leave the party. Now, does it serve the best interest of the Congress party in Rajasthan? Did not Sachin Pilot contribute to the Congress success in Rajasthan? If that was so, why is he being elected today? Is it because Sachin Pilot is a leader of promise, he is youthful, he is energetic, and also we have seen in the last 18 months, he was not even allowed to have an officer of his choice.
Right.
He could not decide matters in his department. So also other MLAs who had come along with Sachin Pilot and won the last elections. Now this kind of groupism being promoted at one level, and we also saw what happened in the Lok Sabha elections. The Ashok Gehlot totally concentrated on Jodhpur Lok Sabha constituency where Vaibhav, his son, was contesting. Now Vaibhav lost the election and Ashok Gehlot blamed Sachin Pilot, saying that he is the PGC chief, he should take the blame. Now a chief minister who could not get his own son elected from Jodhpur was blaming the Pradesh Congress committee. Now I feel that these are situations which have been created by these leaders, these regional leaders or old guards who feel since the central leadership is weak, they can do what they want and ignore the legitimate issues raised by Sachin Pilot. Because today what we are seeing is there was some kind of a conciliatory kind of thing, reconciliatory kind of messages coming throughout the day as we saw Surjewala speaking. By afternoon the tone had changed. There were issues about Sachin Pilot being ambitious and all kinds of things are floating around, which goes to show the Congress High Command has not taken this issue seriously and is somehow allowing Ashok Gehlot to have his way.
Mr. Tandon, in your estimation, do you think it's time for a generational change, a generational shift in the Congress party? They need to look beyond one family and one family alone. For instance, Mr. Iyer was mentioning about Sachin Pilot. He led the party to victory in 2018 but feels stifled and suffocated. So is it time that the old guard gave way to the younger blood in the party and look beyond the Gandhi family?
No, first of all, the younger generation or the generational change which you are talking about is being interpreted within the Congress as bringing Rahul back. The question is the person who doesn't have credibility within the party also. In the last AICC meeting, questions were raised about Rahul's style of functioning, Rahul's attacking the Prime Minister. And he, in fact, at one stage threatened that, okay, I will not do anything. So if the questions are being raised about the ability and capabilities of the younger generation that we are talking about within the Congress party. Now, the question which you are raising is whether the Congress younger generation look beyond the Nehru-Gandhi family. I doubt very much because they have a complete stranglehold own the party apparatus. They don't want to leave it. And therefore, their question of who should lead the party is still being debated within the party. But the question still remains, whether the Congress party, a 130-year-old party, will continue to remain hostage to a particular family which is not producing capable leaders. So therefore, the question before congressmen and particularly the younger generation should be whether they should not openly come out and say that don't trust the Nehru-Gandhi family, the dynasty. Let there be change within the party and let people, there are very capable people within the Congress party right now of all generations, but they are somehow hostage. So therefore, the longer the party remain hostage to the Nehru-Gandhi family dynasty, the more disintegration of the Congress we will see in future. And it is not good for democracy in this country, because Congress is the only all India party which can provide opposition to most powerful BJP. We can't really depend on regional parties which are ruling in so many states to provide a national level opposition. So the party which has a moral responsibility to provide a very strong, viable opposition is in tatters. And that is the question which congressmen will have to answer, and they will have to decide whether they come out of the shackles of the dynasty or not. And the longer they tolerate this dynasty to lead the party, there will be more desertion. Many people, younger people will be leaving. And therefore you can't blame others who are accommodating that. After all, in politics, people have a choice. They can't remain hostage to a particular situation. So if they are deserting the party and they are looking for openings elsewhere, we can't blame anybody else. The Congress itself should be blamed for it.
So as Mr. Iyer, as Mr. Tandon says, the Gandhi family or the dynasty has become a liability, it's no longer an asset for the Congress party going forward as well.
Well, indeed, it looks like the Gandhi family is losing its kind of mojo, I would say, because the Congress party, the way has it been functioning and the way it has been built over the last 2 decades, it has been essentially centered around Sonia Gandhi and family. And Sonia Gandhi, pulled the party out from a deep crisis in '98 when Sitaram Kesari was the president. Now, since then, she managed to, saw that the Congress remained in opposition through the Vajpayee era. And in 2004, she managed to create an anti-BJP front, and thus was born the United Progressive Alliance. Now, having done all that for the Congress party, I am rather surprised why she has been completely bound by the need to ensure that that legacy is only adopted by the family, instead of allowing the party a lot more freedom to choose its leadership. Because we have had Rahul Gandhi as a very reluctant Congress president right from the beginning. And we have seen him, because he took charge only 2017. And by 2019, he was so disappointed with his own party because his ideas of bringing a generational change did not happen. And the parliamentary defeat, which happened because of the fact that his way of campaigning against Prime Minister Narendra Modi completely bombed. Instead of assuming responsibility for the wrong strategy in the campaign, Rahul Gandhi rather blamed his own party people for not taking forward the campaign. Now, since then, what we have seen is 1 year has passed by, but there is no leadership. There is a vacuum at the top because Sonia Gandhi, at her age, given her age at 73, she is no longer able to perform that active role. But my question is, why is Sonia Gandhi allowing the party to be completely dependent on the family? Why can't she help the party look for a leadership beyond the family?
Indeed. Mr. Tandon, in that sense, you think the Congress party, the leadership, or whatever remains of it, has completely failed to read the pulse of the people of India today, failed to read the mood of the people in India today. We've gone beyond the age of entitlement politics. People are looking for development, performance. So dynasty is a big no-no.
No, the basic question is whether there is any Congress leadership at the moment. There is no Congress leadership. See, at the last AICC session, it was only Priyanka Gandhi who came in defense of Rahul Gandhi. That he is the only one who has been attacking the Prime Minister. Nobody else attacks the Prime Minister. Then the questions were raised whether the style of his attacking the Prime Minister is right. And nobody came in support of Rahul Gandhi. Even Sonia Gandhi kept quiet when leader after leader attacking Rahul Gandhi's style of attacking the Prime Minister. At the end, the lesson given to Rahul Gandhi was, don't attack the Prime Minister personally because it is boomerang. So therefore, I think that presently the party is a ship which is rudderless, there is no captain, and in that situation, unfortunately, what is happening in different states after Madhya Pradesh, now it is Rajasthan, tomorrow you will never what will happen. So I think it's a very sorry state of affairs within the party, and it is only for the congressmen to ponder over it and at least come out and provide a remedy to this crisis.
Mr. Iyer, I'll give you the last word. Is it time the Gandhi family in particular read the writing on the wall? And should the Gandhis now make way for a younger, dynamic leadership, one which is in touch with the pulse of the people of India today?
Well, I think the time is up for the Gandhi family, and they must realize the writing on the wall. The rank and file of the party are completely exasperated by the state of affairs. And I entirely agree with Mr. Ashok Tandon that we need to have a vibrant democracy. We need to have a vibrant opposition party, a party that actually holds the government to question on many issues and seeks answers from the government. That should be a role of a responsible opposition. But what we are seeing today is rather not only just a responsible kind of statement that is coming.
Would you call it abdication, outright abdication and incompetence?
Abdication. Exactly, outright abdication, and it is. I think it is interest of the country demands that the Sonia Gandhi should now take a call and put an end to the state of drift in the party.
All right, on that one, I want to thank both my guests, Mr. Shekhar Iyer and Mr. Tandon, for joining us on Newsnight and sharing your views with our viewers in India and around the world. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. All right, shifting